Welcome to week 2 of Radical Trust, God's Track Record. Lenten Reflections presented by the Office of Ignatian Spirituality. My name is Teresa Ford, and this is the reflection for the second Sunday of Lent, entitled Spiritual Change Agents. This week, we see how God calls us down from the mountain to carry our crosses. When I think of heaven, of eternity with Jesus, I don't think of a place. In fact, I don't think at all. I feel the warmth of God's love embracing me like a warm blanket on a cool night. And I want to stay in that place, cozy and secure, with none of the worries of the world. This is much like the experience of Peter in today's gospel. In Matthew 17, 1-9, Jesus pulls him, James, and John away from the others and blesses them with a foretaste of heaven and a glimpse of his divine nature that they have never seen before. Peter is so disconcerted that he proposes a way to extend the experience by building 3 tents. Peter has it all worked out. However, God the Father redirects him and tells him simply to listen. God says, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." Peter cannot stay on the mountain, mesmerized by the true face of Jesus. He is compelled by Jesus to go back down the mountain to fulfill his mission. Maybe we have never had an experience of God as dramatic as the transfiguration. But as believers, we have all had glimpses of the divine nature of Jesus in our lives. It would be understandable if, like Peter, we wanted to stay in those moments. But God calls us to listen, to live this life that is often fraught with trials, tribulations, and adversity out loud with passion. God calls us to finish the race. If we trust God's plan, we do not face life's battles with fear or trepidation. Instead, we do it with the assurance that there is a better place. We do it with the understanding that this life is not our final destination. Jesus himself assures us in John 14:2 that he goes to prepare a place for us. God gives us momentary previews of heaven to keep us going through the dark times. God is trustworthy, and we have only to recall these moments when we catch a glimpse of God's divinity in our lives to be re-energized, so that we can in fact take up our crosses every day and follow Jesus. St. Ignatius reiterates this call in our lives with the Jesuit tradition of contemplatives in action. It is an approach to life that beckons us to be spiritual agents of change in the world until we are called home to Jesus. As you continue to think about this week's theme of spiritual change agents, we invite you to reflect on these questions. What are some of the mountaintop experiences of the divinity of God that you have experienced in your life? Where in your life are you called to be a spiritual change agent? Thank you for joining us for this week's reflection. We hope that it sparked a greater awareness of all the ways God shows up in our lives to encourage us. This reflection was written and recorded by me, Teresa Ford, and produced by the Office of Ignatian Spirituality. Please join us next week for Conversion Through Trust. To continue learning more about Ignatian spirituality, visit us online at ignatian.info.